Coming up next, Monster.
I work for the future.
I work to keep it flowing.
I work for my kids.
I work for the freedom.
Sometimes a job is a job. Sometimes it's a career. When it's right, it's a passion. Whoever you are, whatever you want to do, Monster has the tools to find the right match to take you there. Post your resume on Monster today and find the job that works for you.
Monster works for me.
Sean, he works to keep it flowing. Is that a better line for a cardiologist or a urologist?
Urologist, I would say. Yeah. What was that? Vasomax or something? Yeah. You know, this is a great commercial, I thought, for this new company, iWork, right? I mean, you got your iPod, you got your iMac, and you got your iWork. You know, so I typed in iWork, and what came up? The Apple site, and there was the new iPhone. So this seemed to me like a little bit of branding executives gone wild here, and it was a big goof.
Yeah. Dwight, what do you think?
Well, first of all, after watching the commercial, I was exhausted. And the conclusion I came to, people are way too busy. And I'm glad I don't work. People need to calm down. We don't have to have that much activity. And plus, keeping track of the demographics of who it appealed to, it was phenomenal. They appealed to everybody. They included everybody in this commercial. And but what I liked about the commercial is that it underscored the point of, you know, why you have a job, and your job, no matter what it is, you can find it at Monster. And also, on a side note, I thought the efficiency of the ad industry is stellar in this, because in a tiny little glimpse of an image, you get this impression. And the one image that came through to me was when he flips his wrench up. Yeah. And the communication is, no matter how boring your job is, if you have a passion for it, you'll enjoy it. And I admire that, because there's never been a moment in my life that I've wanted to flip something in the air in satisfaction. Keys, wrenches, nothing.
Pizza.
And here's this guy, he's just working, he just flips it up in the air, he enjoys it, and just in a split second, and it was a really marvelous.
But your job isn't to keep it flowing.
That's right.
That's right.
Christina, you're a professor of literature, and the question is, what are you working for? But that's not grammatical, isn't it? Isn't it more correct to say, why are you working?
I don't know. Let's see. I'm still thinking about what you've said about mobility and the office and being stuck in a job, because I was also struck by all that activity. Mm-hmm. Most technological and service jobs, you're seated, and a lot of those jobs are advertised on Monster, but here there are always people moving. There's one guy seated at a laptop, one woman seated at a bank of phones, but the camera jumps and catches her from two angles. There's lots of jump cuts and flashing lights. And then you've got the trucker who's seated but moving. And then other people who are seated but talking with other people animatedly. And then a couple of people that are actually standing at their laptops. So it did communicate this immense drive and flexibility and dynamicism in your job, satisfaction. But I don't want to be too cynical. It's a lovely idea, but they're promising to solve one of the central problems of modernity, which is alienated labor. And I don't think it's likely. They're very vague about what they're working for. They're working for the future. Well, why is there a definite article there? The future of what? They're working for the words are all moving words too.
Those aren't passions. They say this is your passion, and
there's never any mention of pay.
The future.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Right. It's like, I work for the money. I mean, what?
I work for the healthcare. I work to send money back to Mexico for my family.
Don't you think though this ad was also trying to humanize the monster?
Yes.
Monster is it. Trying to tell a story, trying to make it more personal. So, just that regular guy flipping the wrench. But that's what they're trying to do. And so it's not, because that search engine, that is huge, and there's so much, and it's so not human. So they're really trying to put a human face on something that, it's not just a resume service.
Mm-hmm. Any commentary on the name Monster.com? For something as important as your job, mm-hmm. It has this sort of childlike Monster.com, and it's kind of like Yahoo. It's hard to give out your email address to someone at a very important meeting when it's like, it's Dwight Slade at Yahoo.com, or go to Monster.com. It's like, what are you going to find toys there? Or I thought it was an odd choice for something as important as your job to name the site Monster.
Well, most people think of themselves as working for the machine. Maybe it's just making it a little bit more organic.
I have an idea about that, too. They make Monster your advocate. Monster works for me. So maybe there's a sense of, there's one idea of mobility in the workplace, which is you're not stuck in a job. But the other idea is scary, which is you're let go because the infrastructure of your work environment totally changes, and then you're thrown to Monster because you're having to figure something out. So maybe there's a sense of like Monster advocates for you. It's strong. It's gonna help you face
passion.
Right, and face this overwhelming.
They talked about 3 levels of involvement. That it's just it's work, it's a career, it's a passion.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a level that's lower than that, and it's a temp. And I wonder if they're not aiming at that.
Right.
It's really urgent, and you're very disposable.
Right. Here's all this motion, but don't think about the bad kind. Only think about the upside. So
We're human.
Because I suppose if they're going to be honest, they would name the website YouMayNotGetScrewed.com.
But that's a real long URL.
Yeah,
It's not catchy at all.
It is kind of
Focus
long.
groups scored very poorly.
At any given time, Monster has about 1 million job offerings on it, and 41 million people over its history have posted their resumes. So
they're
anyway,
also selling stuff to
That's
people.
right.
They're selling services. Sorry.
Time for our exit question. Name a job you probably wouldn't find on Monster. Christina.
Well, a job that involves real movement and motion, which would be a migrant worker.
Roshini.
Rock star.
Shawn.
Diaper wearing space.
Dwight.
Hiding Tom Cruise's homosexuality. You won't find that on Monster.com.
Shark Rider.